Every morning, I pull into the office parking lot in my 2016 Honda Civic. Paid off, runs fine, gets me where I need to go. And every morning, I see Derek's car, a brand new BMW X5, black, shiny, the kind of car that makes you think, this guy's doing something right. But here's the thing, Derek and we make about the same money. I know what you're thinking. Maybe he got a promotion. Maybe his wife makes bank. Maybe he's just better with money than you are. I thought that too, so I started paying attention. And what I found, it's not what you think. Let me tell you about Derek. He's 33, mid-level marketing manager. Salary? About 65 grand a year. Same range as me. No inheritance, no side hustle, just a regular job. And yet,
the BMW, the nice apartment in the new complex downtown, designer sneakers, always picking the expensive restaurant when we go out for team lunch. And I'm sitting there wondering, what am I doing wrong?
Here's what nobody tells you about affording it. Most people don't afford it. They finance it. They lease it. They pay monthly for the feeling of having it. But they don't actually own it. So I did what any curious person would do. I started looking into car leases. And let me tell you, the numbers, they're shocking. Not in a good way.
That $75,000 BMW Derek drives? He didn't buy it. He's leasing it. Monthly payment? $847 for 3 years. And at the end of those 3 years, he has to give it back.
Let that sink in. $847 a month. That's more than a lot of people's rent. And after paying over $30,000 across 3 years, Derek owns exactly 0% of that car. Now compare that to my Honda. I bought it used for $18,000, paid it off in 4 years, monthly payment was $375. And now, it's mine. No payment, just gas and insurance. And it'll run for another 10 years if I take care of it.
So who's actually winning here? The guy with the flashy lease, or the guy with the paid-off car and an extra $847 a month in his pocket?
And here's where it gets worse. Because Derek's not just leasing the car. That's only the beginning. Let me show you what else he's paying for. So Derek's paying $847 a month just for the car payment. But that's not the full story. Because when you drive a $75,000 car, everything else gets more expensive too. First, there's insurance. A luxury SUV like that, full coverage is mandatory with a lease. Derek's paying about $200 a month. Compare that to my Honda's $95 a month. That's an extra $1,260 a year, just for insurance.
Then there's gas. That BMW, it requires premium, 91 octane minimum. I've seen Derek at the gas station. He's spending about $80 more per month than I am, another $960 a year.
But wait. There's more. Derek lives in one of those new luxury apartment complexes downtown. You know the ones. Rooftop pool, gym, package concierge. He's paying $2,400 a month. I live in a regular apartment, 15 minutes away. Mine's $1,600. Same bedroom count, just less Instagram worthy.
So that's an extra $800 a month on rent. For what? A nicer lobby? The privilege of saying you live downtown? Derek's paying $9,600 more per year for the same square footage.
And then there's the lifestyle creep. When you're trying to look successful, you start acting successful. Lunch meetings at trendy spots, always ordering the nicer bottle of wine, never suggesting the cheap option. I started tracking it. Derek spends about $600 a month on restaurants and bars.
I spend maybe $200. That's another $4,800 a year. Not because he loves food more than me, but because when you're projecting success, you can't be seen ordering the house wine.
Let's add this up. Car lease, $847. Extra insurance, $105. Premium gas, $80. Fancy apartment, $800 more. Lifestyle spending, $400 extra. That's $2,232 a month that Derek's spending just to look successful.
That's $26,784 a year on a $65,000 salary before taxes. You see the problem here? After taxes, Derek takes home maybe $48,000 a year. He's spending over half of that on looking rich, which means everything else, it's going on credit cards. And here's the worst part. Derek can't stop. Because once you've built that image, once people see you as the BMW guy, the downtown apartment guy, how do you go backwards? How do you tell your coworkers you're downgrading? So he's locked in. 3 years from now, when that BMW lease ends, he'll sign another one because the alternative is admitting it was all a show. And that's the real trap. Meanwhile, what am I doing with that extra $2,200 a month Derek's burning through? Well, let me show you where it goes. So here's what I do differently. Every month, I have about $2,200 more than Derek. Not because I make more, but because I'm not spending it on looking successful. And that money, it goes somewhere. First, I max out my 401k contributions. That's about $500 a month. My company matches 5%, so I'm getting free money. Derek contributes the minimum, just enough to get the match, because he needs that cash flow for everything else. Then there's my emergency fund. I keep 6 months of expenses saved, about $15,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account. Derek, he's got maybe $2,000. One car repair, one medical bill, one unexpected expense, and he's adding it to the credit cards. And the rest, I invested. Index funds, nothing fancy, just consistent monthly investments. About $800 a month goes into my brokerage account. Over time, with compound growth, that adds up to something real. Let me show you what this looks like over 10 years. Same starting point, same salaries, but completely different choices. And the difference? It's not small. Derek's path. Car lease, 3 years, then another lease, then another. Total spent on car payments over 10 years, about $101,000. And at the end, he owns nothing. My path? Paid off my Honda in 4 years. Drove it for 10 years total. Total spent? $18,000. And I still have a working car. But here's where it gets interesting. That monthly difference I was investing? After 10 years of investing $800 a month, with an average 7% return, that's about $138,000. Not in payments I'll never see again, in actual assets. Money that's mine, growing, working for me while I sleep. But Derek's apartment, he's paid $288,000 more in rent over those 10 years compared to me. For what? A rooftop he used twice and a lobby that looks good on Instagram? Meanwhile, I've been building equity. Let's add it all up. Over 10 years, Derek spent about $400,000 more than me on things that made him look successful. My net worth, about $150,000 higher. His, basically zero. And here's the part that really matters. We're both 33 now. By the time we're 65, if I keep this up,
I'll have over $2 million saved for retirement. Derek, if he doesn't change, he'll be working until the day he dies. So when I see Derek pull up in that BMW every morning, I don't feel jealous anymore. I feel relieved, because I know something he doesn't. That car isn't a sign of success. It's a subscription to stress.
Real wealth isn't about what you drive or where you live or what brands you wear. Real wealth is freedom. It's options. It's being able to say no. It's sleeping well at night because you're not one emergency away from disaster. And maybe someday Derek will figure this out. Maybe he'll realize that the BMW, the apartment, the image, it's all keeping him broke. But until then, I'll keep driving my Honda, keep investing, keep building something real. So next time you see someone with a luxury car, a fancy apartment, the perfect Instagram life, remember, you're not seeing their bank account. You're seeing their monthly payments. And those two things, they're very, very different. So why do people like Derek do this? Why trap themselves in a cycle of payments they can't afford? It's not stupidity. It's not greed. It's something deeper. It's about how we measure success in America. We're taught from childhood that success looks a certain way. Nice car, big house, designer clothes. And if you don't have those things, you must be doing something wrong. You must not be working hard enough. You must be failing. But here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most of the people who look successful, they're not. They're just better at hiding their stress, better at maintaining the image, better at pretending everything's fine while their credit card balances climb higher every month. And the worst part, once you start, it's hard to stop because your identity becomes tied to the stuff. You're not just Derek anymore. You're Derek with the BMW. And what happens to your self-worth when you have to give that up? This is what I call the image trap. And it catches more people than you think. Not just young professionals, people in their 40s, 50s, still making car payments, still trying to keep up, still one paycheck away from collapse. So, how do you break free? Step 1, stop comparing. I know that's easier said than done. But every time you feel bad about your car, your apartment, your life, remember, you're comparing your reality to someone else's highlight reel. Step 2, build your safety net first. Before you invest, before you think about buying anything nice, get that emergency fund to 6 months of expenses. Because real wealth starts with security, not status. Step 3, automate your savings. The money you never see is the money you never miss. Set up automatic transfers, 401k contributions, investment accounts. Make it happen before you have a chance to spend it on trying to impress people you don't even like. Step 4, find your enough. What do you actually need to be happy? Not what Instagram says, not what your coworkers have. What's enough for you? For me, it's a reliable car, a comfortable apartment, and the freedom to not worry about money. And step 5, play the long game. This isn't about getting rich quick. It's about making small, smart decisions every single day. Decisions that compound, that build, that turn into something real over 10, 20, 30 years. Now, I'm not saying never enjoy your money. I'm not saying live like a monk and eat ramen every night. I'm saying be intentional. Spend on what matters to you, not on what you think will make other people think you matter. Because here's the secret Derek hasn't learned yet. The things that actually make you happy, they're usually not that expensive. Time with people you care about, work you find meaningful, health, peace of mind, a good night's sleep without financial stress. Those things,
You can't lease them, you can't finance them, you can't fake them. You either have them or you don't. And the irony is, the more you chase the image of success, the further you get from the real thing.
So if you're watching this and you feel behind, if you feel like everyone else has it figured out except you, let me tell you something. You're not behind. You're just not falling for it. And that might be the smartest financial decision you ever make.
Derek's still going to pull into that parking lot tomorrow in his leased BMW, and I'm still going to be in my paid-off Honda. But now you know the real story. Now you know what that BMW actually costs, and more importantly, what it's worth.
Real wealth isn't about what you own. It's about what owns you. And the less you need to prove to the world, the richer you actually are. Remember that next time you see someone driving something you can't afford. You're not seeing success. You're seeing a payment plan.